Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dakota Franson from the Bonkers Network. I hope you are having a fantastic day. All right, we've had some people already send in some material for this, but I wanted to fulfill my word on making this more accessible for people who may have issues with writing, or may not necessarily feel comfortable, for whatever situation may be. So this video here is going to walk everyone through, explain everything going on with the Why We Are Supernatural Anthology. This is going to basically just go through the form, explain a little bit more about what's going on, and you may actually see segments from this video end up in the form itself for anybody who may have issues, with being able to read materials online. I know there's a lot of websites these days, web browsers that have built-in, text-to-speech platforms to try to help people with that. But let's face it, not everybody's tech savvy enough to have all that set up like they probably should. This is not an act of judgment on anybody. This is me connecting directly with you, let you know what is going on. I will address one thing that has been on a lot of people's concern right off the bat. It is solely me that's running this entire project. Okay? Not Chris. He's more than welcome to contribute a couple stories if he wants to. That's completely up to him. But this is me running it, putting everything together, getting the book out there, so on and so forth. The only other party that is truly involved is our printing partner, so that way they can help make the damn book and sell it. So, shall we get started? Basically, all this is, I'm just going to go through all the different sections, explain the logic behind them a little bit more in depth, and hopefully clear up some of the confusion. So we're just going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen here. All right. So if you go to the link you see on your page on the video here, it will take you to this spot. This is a jot form setup. I've done my best to try to cover it, make sure this form covers all the necessary legal obligations. I know it's a fucking drag, but that's just to help protect everybody. It helps fulfill all the legal obligations, tries to explain everything as clearly as possible, and makes the process several times easier. So, right here, we're saying we are looking for people to share their stories about the supernatural to be included in a Halloween anthology. The working title is Why We Are Supernatural. The more I say it out loud, I think that's what will keep it. I like that. As announced on the June 9th, 2024 episode of the Bald and Bonkers Show, this project is to help reach out to people still looking to understand what is going on, as it seems the veils between worlds continue to thin. Because let's face it, shit's skyrocketing and it's only going to get weirder as we keep going about life. Let's face it. Now, what's the text in big bold letters? The deadline for submissions is August 31st, 2024. Obviously, being that this is an international audience, we'll give a little bit of leeway, you know, taking time zones into consideration and all that fun shit. So, deadline for submission August 31st, 2024. The planned release is about September 27th, 2024. Usually, with the printing partner, it takes about 2 weeks for all the information about the book to get sent out to all the different websites that are wanting to sell it, get everything set up so that way it all launches at once. That process usually takes about 2 weeks, so a little bit of elbow grease, getting all the submissions in together, formatted, looking good. If we hit it about that time frame, that'll help make sure it is out. It is available to potentially 40,000 different locations, and it'll be there just in time for people to get it in their hands by Halloween. So if you are interested in participating in this project, all you gotta do is sign in your name. We'll go Billy Bob Hooter. I'm just playing. Now for this, we're gonna just This is just an email address to help me keep in touch with you about everything that's going on, give everybody updates about the progress, about where the book's sitting at, if there's any complications that come up. Because let's face it, sometimes things happen. We have backup systems in place to try to avoid that, but it happens. So, the next little part, this is a free promotional option for any paranormal groups out there that are wanting to get a little extra exposure. Or if you happen to host like a podcast or anything like that that kind of ties into the supernatural, this is an option for you. As this page of the forum says, are you part of any paranormal group or just want a little free exposure for your projects? This is open for everyone to take part. Everyone who's willing to jump in will find a spot. We also figured by allowing people to send in information about their paranormal groups, the audience, the readers, can be able to find information about all these individuals and potentially reach out in the event they may need help with something that they're dealing with. So, good way to help promote. Basically, you just type in here, the founder of a paranormal investigation team. We're just going to put in some random stuff here. You know, host a podcast and make kitten jewelry. Hey, I get it. A little bit of, you know, all those side hustles, all those little side projects. I get it. I've been there. You want to toss in a little something like that? I have no problem. So this is where you would put in a website URL, just your main website where everything is hosted. For just this example, we're just going to type in the Bald and Bonkers main website, baldandbonkers.net. And if you have any social media links, Facebook, Twitter, or X, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case may be that you use to help promote your stuff, you can feel free to paste the links here. That way we can get it into the book. People can be able to try to look you up. And for those who buy the ebook copy, they can just click the link from inside whatever ebook reader they have set up, and it'll just bring you up right then and there. Nifty little thing, right? So, this is a completely optional thing. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you want to, work in a little bit more secrecy, that's completely up to you. If you want to use a pen name, that's fine. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in one of the next pages. So, once you're comfortable with what you put here, hit next. There we go. This is where the nitty gritty comes in. So, if you're wanting to participate in this and you have a couple stories you maybe want to tell, here is where you would send it in. If you go to send in a story, there's going to be a couple things we obviously need from you. We need your completed story in a .text file or a .doc file. Common file types. This will just allow us to be able to transfer it into the printing partner's system a lot easier. So that way we can go in and format things to make sure it looks good across anything the book may actually come up on. If you have it on a PDF document, that is completely okay. We have a few systems on our own that can take a lot of the different file formats, so we can make it work. If you're worried about, something not coming across, we can make it work. Now, just to kind of explain what's going on, this little segment here goes a little bit more into how we plan to release it. So, the anthology will be made available in paperback and ebook formats, possibly audiobook format as well. Audiobooks just take a little bit more production time for obvious reasons. The ebook version of the anthology may also be included as part of Bald and Bonkers Network LLC's contributions to the Internet Archive. That is a nonprofit group that hosts a lot of free books, movies, sound bits. It's meant to be kind of like an online library. We have actually submitted several of the books we sell through Bald and Bonkers through this as well, so that way people can get to them completely free. For those of you who may be thinking, well, doesn't that risk people stealing your stuff? Yeah, it kind of does, but it's about getting out there. We have protections in place to make sure that everybody is protected. That's why we do this. But unfortunately, sometimes people just fucking suck. Let's admit it. So, with the inclusion of the Internet Archive, what that'll do is help get your story out there to even more people. And there may, I will just say this now, nothing's quite set in stone yet. There may be a chance that through the technological partnerings that are going on behind the scenes to set up an arc of human information in outer space, Bald and Bonkers may have a few contributions being added to it. So, who knows? Your story may end up getting to go to outer space one of these days. The way things are going, you never know. Now, if you have any pictures to support your story, I get it. It's hard. Trust me, it's frustrating some days in trying to get stories put together and finding evidence to back your claims. So if you're fortunate enough to have any photos to go with your story to help back it up, or if you have any like logos or anything like that going with your websites, your paranormal groups, and you want to send those in, you can use this little button here too. The accepted file formats are, like I said, PDF, JPEG, PNG, GIFs, doc, or text files. So any of those file formats should work on this just fine. Now, if you would like to go by a pen name or a pseudonym for this because you don't feel comfortable putting your name out there, or you want to just kind of do something else, that's okay. You can just go type it in here. That'll just let me know, hey, don't use this person's real name. Your real name will be used for legal stuff. Your pen name is what will go out into the public. Now, because some individuals have expressed they want to contribute to this project, however, due to personal matters, the act of physically writing out their story or typing it out, as most people would do these days, might be a little bit more intimidating. For whatever the case may be, maybe they're not comfortable writing, maybe they have personal issues that make writing difficult. There's quite a few out there that are involved in this type of stuff who have that issue. Honestly, that was actually something I was not aware of until I started working with Chris. So, because some very good people that obviously have some interesting stories to tell have brought this to my attention. I want to try to be able to help them out as well as anybody else who may not feel comfortable, coming forward and saying, hey, Dakota, can I talk to you for a sec? That's why this video, as well as the videos that will be tied to each of these pages on the form to help explain everything, was created in the first place. So we have a couple of different options. If you would like, one alternative you can do is record your story on video, post it up on YouTube, and send in the link. We're not going to steal the video from you. We'll just sit back, hear the story, and type it out, make it look good, flush any issues out we may have there. We could set it up to where you could send in the video directly, but that might kind of gung up some people's internet and takes a while, and the videos don't always make it through. So if you would like, you can record your story, tell a little bit about yourself, post the video onto YouTube, and send me the link. You don't have to set it to unlisted or private or anything like that. I'm not going to be picky. I'm not going to claim copyright on any stories you send in or you decide to share with me. These are still going to be your stories. I'm just taking them and putting them out there so other people can see that they're not alone in this. While the subject of the supernatural is not as much taboo as it used to be, a lot more people are talking about having experiences more openly. There's still a lot of people out there who are on the am I crazy side of things. This anthology and any projects to it are meant to help with that, to show people that no, you're not crazy. These things are real. But if you now you may actually not feel comfortable just kind of recording your story, or you may want to talk with me one on one. I actually kind of like this idea. Kind of open up a little mini interview series to help promote the book a little easier. And again, you'll be talking with me one on one. Recording your video testimony, that'll be a way for you to work around your schedule a little easier because I do have a day job. I do have a kid that I do try to help take care of. So things can get kind of busy as well as trying to maintain a business. But some of you have expressed an interest in maybe wanting to do interviews one on one with me. I'm cool with that. I actually like that idea. So this is how we have it set up. If you have a video testimony you want to send in, put the link into this box here. If you want to be recorded one on one by me, we'll set up like a Zoom call or something. Well, we'll get something figured out. We have that option too. If you want to do it, hell yeah, let's do it. If you're a little bit more insecure but want to do it, if you want to hide your name or face, use a pen name. I get it. Going out in the public can be kind of intimidating when it comes to this type of stuff. Or if you don't want to do it, you can just check no, or you can just leave that blank if you want to. So we'll just go ahead and select that just for this example. And that's it. I don't have any of this marked as required, so to try to make it easier for anybody who wants to send in a video testimony link. But if you have a story already typed up and you want to send it in, just go right ahead. I tried to make this as easy as possible for everybody because the easier it is to work through, the faster it can get done and the faster we can move on and make some awesome shit happen. Now, just go ahead and hit next. Unfortunately, this is something we have to address is the anti-bullying measures. Now, I will state, Chris and I haven't always exactly engaged any issues that we've seen come up of bullying, harassment, dear Lord, or any of the discord that happens within supernatural communities. We haven't always dealt with it in the best of light, but it's about growth. It's about becoming something better. So, because unfortunately, there's a lot of people who do try to bully others who are in this field for whatever reason, maybe. We're not going to go into that. This is our statement. And it says, we at Bald and Bonkers Network LLC have consistently witnessed cycles of bullying, harassment, and discord within the supernatural communities. Now, when I say supernatural in terms of this, I mean in the whole umbrella. UFOs, demons, angels, spirits, cryptids, everything. It's all getting wrapped up into one little bow for this. A very wide topic, but well worth exploring. Anyway, back to the form. While we acknowledge that our own responses to these issues have not always been perfect, we are committed to making a change. Our current project, this anthology, aims to reach out to those who feel isolated, providing them with a sense of belonging and understanding. Through our upcoming anthology and the feature documentary that we hope to fund through its proceeds, we aspire to spread a message of unity and exploration worldwide. We have established distribution partners to ensure that our final product reaches major platforms globally. Now, to safeguard this message, we have implemented strict measures. Participants in this project must adhere to our standards of conduct. Anyone found engaging in harmful behavior within these communities will also be banned from all Bald and Bonkers Network LLC projects. Basically, if we find out you're being a dick, we're not going to associate with you anymore. Bye bye. Have a good day. Simple as that. You know, I've seen numerous instances where individuals try to take claim of ownership of others just because it's their team or they are getting involved. They're the type who show racial prejudice, any sort of bias towards any group whatsoever, any sort of engagement in this type of thing. Yeah, we're not putting up with that. You can have your own beliefs, you can have your own thoughts, you can have your own opinions on certain things, but this is about coming together with those differences in mind. We're not trying to pretend like we're all wearing the same colors and all that. We're all different individuals. We all have our own different experiences. We all have our own different interpretations of what's going on. We want to engage the conversation, get people talking, to share their ideas. None of this cultural appropriation stuff, none of that. None of this meant none of this that targets and divides people. This is about bringing people together to realize, hey, yes, we're different, but maybe you can point something out that I didn't take into consideration, and vice versa. Get a conversation going, build organic relationships like that so we can come together and actually do something meaningful with this. I will put this out there. I do maintain strong and frequent communication with all partners and affiliates. There's days where we practically meet up, if we could, we would all meet up at a bar and discuss all the kind of issues we're running into just trying to run a business. And names do get swapped. So, this is a little warning. Our partners and affiliates may also choose to enforce similar bans. This is at their own discretion. Any individual that's caught in this, the decision of whether or not the Bald and Bonkers Network LLC, that'll be my decision whether or not you have any further participation with us. And if any of our partners and affiliates may become aware of certain things and they want to cut off any potential ties with you, not get affiliated with you, that's going to be up to their discretion. We are dedicated to fostering a positive, inclusive environment and look forward to sharing these meaningful stories with the world. Because again, it should not matter if we're gay, black, white, straight, man, woman, any of that. We are simple human beings, all trying to understand what's going on. So let's actually come together and make that happen, right? Do you understand this statement? Simply put, yes. We're not giving you any other option. Now, this is a final legal statement. I know it's annoying, but we got to get through it. So this says all submitted materials will remain the copyright of the original authors. So if you decide, even if you decide to send in a video testimony or interview one on one, it's still your story to tell. I'm not gonna try to tie you up, say you can't tell that. You can only share it with me. Blah 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 blah. You know, this is not what this is about. By submitting this form, you grant Bald and Bonkers Network LLC, the company, permission to edit primarily for just grammar and clarity. That's all. We're not going to try to change your story, spice it up, anything like that. We just want to make sure it all looks good. Permission to edit, distribute, and market all materials at its sole discretion. Basically, we'll send it out to where we can, we'll promote it where we can, how we feel is best to get the stories out there. We have a few different methods in mind, but we want to see how far we can take this project first before we lock anything down. The author acknowledges that they may not receive financial or material compensation for their submission. As much as we would like to make sure we can get everybody paid, there's not enough coming in, and this is to help finance future projects, to make Bald and Bonkers, to help grow the company, to help expand our influence. And let's face it, the world we're in, you need money in order to do that. What we will try to do, I will see what I can do about getting everybody sent out an ebook copy, and as well as a link to buy a physical copy of the book directly from our printing partner. It'll probably be a hell of a lot cheaper than it is on like Amazon and other websites like that. Any profit gained from sales of the final anthology will be directed towards the financing of a featured documentary to be announced at a later date. There's a lot of work that goes into documentaries, so we don't want to get too much before. We don't want to say that we don't want to put. Basically, we don't want to say too much when we don't have enough to back it up. Credit will be given to all selected authors under the pen name, should they have chosen one, to be publicly addressed as. So if you decide to, use a pen name in the book, that's how you're going to be referred to in any marketing materials in the book itself, so on and so forth. By submitting this form, you acknowledge that you have taken appropriate steps to ensure privacy and permissions have been obtained in order to submit your story. Now, we don't want anybody to get into any legal issues. So if your story involves other people, try to make sure you have permission to say their name. Or if you need to, feel free to alter details about names and maybe a little bit about locations to protect people's privacy. Just be respectful. While Bald and Bonkers Network LLC seeks true stories of potential supernatural encounters, the company encourages authors to ensure the privacy of individuals involved in the story is respected. So these people who are also in your story don't feel, just respect that, okay? By submitting this form, you agree that the company is free of any liability and damages that may arise from your submission. So basically, if your submission ticks somebody off, Ball and Bonkers is not liable. Your signature below will serve as a legally binding agreement to these terms. So this is one of those where you just do a little chicken scratch with your mouse there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hit submit, and there you go. Welcome to the Madhouse. Your submission has been received. Dakota will see you shortly. I hope this helps explain everything. If you have any further questions, feel free to send me a message, comment on this video, and I'll see you next time.